What's up, y'all? We're back out here at the garage on a Thursday, so you know that means we got some ammo to look at. Now, once again, as you can see, I don't have any in-store footage. I didn't even go by Rural King at all in the last week or so. My local shop, I did run in there, but it's pretty much the same thing. I did get a few things, but nothing real remarkable to talk about. And then I also got a few interesting things from my local pawn shop, so everything this week is actually really interesting and unusual stuff. So before I jump right into it, if y'all would take a second, reach down and hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and make sure you got those notifications turned on so you get notified when I upload stuff. So let's start it off with a big old batch of 9mm that was sent to me by Alan. Every bit of it is 124. Most of it is some really unusual stuff that I hadn't even heard of myself. Now, a few of these that he sent I have heard of, and I've actually tested a couple of these. First one here we'll look at, we got the Grizzly 124 grain 9mm. This I have not tested. I have tested their 380, so it'll be interesting to see how this does. As far as the projectile, I can't really tell if it's an XTP or not. We'll have to do some looking. I'll do a little research. Velocity wise, nothing. Well, what we got here? Yeah, we got 1200 on the box as far as velocity, so should be some good 124. So we got a box of Grizzly, and then next we got a box of good old Ammo Inc 9mm 124 again. This I have tested a couple of different times, as a matter of fact. It's some pretty good performance stuff, especially based on what it costs. So I probably won't test that again unless there's something else specific he wants to see done with that. Maybe I'll run it through some carbines, but anyway, we've got a box of that. And then we got a box of good old Underwood. Same thing here, 124 grain, 1150 they're saying on this. The Ammo Inc was saying 1120, so it looks like the lowest out of the Ammo Inc so far. Underwood, I can't remember if this is actually a Berries. I can tell you right now, that's a Berries hybrid. I don't think I've tested this for sure, so that'll be a good one to test. I was getting ready to say I don't think I've tested the Non-Plus P XTP, but this is Berries hybrid, so that should be an interesting test there. And then these next ones he sent are very unusual. Again, I hadn't even heard of some of them. This I have seen, I believe, before in the past. The HOP munitions, House of Pain is what it stands for. Again, 9mm 124 grain. This is saying 1150 feet per second on this. See what the projectile looks like here. So that's definitely not an XTP either. That's a pretty big old wide cavity there. So not sure what that is. I like seeing those wide cavities like that on the smaller calibers like 9. So should be some good stuff there. Interesting test anyway. Next up, one I've never heard of. We got some Siege ammo here. Again, same thing, 9mm 124 grain. I don't see any, well, here's some ballistics, 1171 on that. Let's see what this projectile looks like. So this one again, definitely not an XTP. That's a kind of a small opening. So be interested to see what these do for sure. So one box of this, and then the next one is some Premier Defense. Again, I've personally never heard of this, but more 9mm 124 grain. He must be a big fan of 124 grain. I personally am too. Definitely not an XTP here either, so that's a unique looking projectile, almost like a golden saber color, but some really unique aggressive looking skives, so that ought to be a pretty interesting test on that one there. Next up, we got some 4140 Armory. This again I've never heard of personally. They're saying, calling this the match defensive HP, 1175 on the velocity. See what these projectiles on this one looks like. Yeah, this is a pretty neat looking thing here. This almost looks like a gold dot. As y'all can see there, like a deep curl or a gold dot or something. That's a very nice looking projectile there. I'm very curious to see what that does. Really glad to see that these companies aren't just stuffing these things full of XTPs either. So should get some really nice, unique results from this stuff. And then the last one from Alan are the unlimited ammo nukes. These again, I've heard of unlimited ammo, but I haven't seen these nukes here. We got 124 grain JHP, no velocity on these. Let's see what these projectiles look like. So once again, that's definitely not an XTP. That's a very unique look there too. As you can see, it's almost got a second layer down inside the cavity. So again, this should be some really good testing on this stuff, different results maybe, and I really appreciate Alan sending all this stuff. And then moving things along, I actually got an unexpected care package from Corbon. Y'all know they sent me a few of their rounds. I've still got some of their copper stuff to test, but they sent me some Powerball and some of their Urban Response. Very nice performance stuff. So So apparently they like to look at that Powerball too. They sent me a few more of their calibers. So this one here, we've got the 357 mag here, the 100 grain Powerball. I think the other ones I tested were 100 grain too, if I'm not mistaken. 1450 FPS, good performance, like I say, on those other ones that I've tested, the Powerball. So I expect this is going to do the same. At least I hope it does. This should be some good 357 if it does. So they sent me a box of that, and then they also sent me a box of the 38 Special Plus P of the same thing. 100 grain Powerball, 1150 is what they're saying on this stuff. If we can get some good performance out of this one, that'll be really, really good, because 38 Special Plus P, especially out of a shorter barrel, or I shouldn't say Plus P, 38 Special is a tough one to get good performance out of sometimes. So hopefully this will do the job and not be too rowdy out of a shorter barrel. And then the other two they've sent me, I can't use just yet, or I could, but I'm probably not. We've got some 38 Super Plus P. They've probably watched some of my testing and figure I got about every caliber known to man, but I don't have anything dedicated 38 Super. So you can run some 38 Super out of a 357 mag, but this stuff here looks pretty spicy, especially this one here, 100 grain or at 1525. So I'll do some looking around, and plus it's not going to be real accurate results if I don't have something in 38 Super. So y'all know me, maybe this will give me an excuse to pick up something new. And then rounding out the care packages that were actually sent to me that I didn't order myself, this one right here is going to be a really good test, whether it's good or bad. As you can see, we've got the Hornady Critical Defense in 5.7 by 28. I don't know how this person even got a hold of this stuff. They wanted to remain anonymous. I can tell y'all right now though, just so there's no conspiracy theorists, this was not sent by Hornady to me. I don't know how this person got it. I didn't ask questions. They wanted to remain anonymous, so that's how we're going to leave it, because you can't get this stuff anywhere right now that I can find. I have searched and with every single option I know of, and you cannot even get this right now. So in any case, we got the 40 grainer here, the Critical Defense 5.7 by 28. I know a lot of people are going to be interested in seeing the performance from this stuff. I'm not a huge fan of 5.7 by 28 myself. Y'all know how that goes, but I know a lot of people are, and something like this, if it gives you good performance that like some people are looking for, maybe it's a good option. I can tell you right now though, this stuff is incredibly expensive, and it comes in 25 round boxes. As you can see, I think this is the first stuff that I've seen as far as 5.7 commercial rounds that didn't come in 50 round boxes. Velocity on it is saying 1810 feet per second. As you can see there, I'm not sure the test barrel. I'll look on the website and check that out. But again, I really thank the person that sent this to me, and it should make for a very interesting test. So keeping things rolling along, I've got a little small online order I made. A couple of first things here I got from PSA. I was just on there looking at some stuff and this caught my eye. The first one is some 45 ACP. We got the Federal Syntech here, the SJHP they call it, the segmenting hollow points. Now y'all seen me test this stuff in 9mm. This is 205 grain, by the way. I've tested this in 9mm, and you know I'm not a huge fan of the segmenting real light for caliber stuff. So this right here is not super light for caliber, and I was actually pretty impressed by the 9mm, and I think a lot of other people were too. So I'm very curious to see if we can kind of repeat that type of performance, especially from a short barrel 45 ACP. So I picked up one box of this. Hopefully it's going to be some good stuff. And then you know how it goes when you're in a certain section. I was into 45 ACP and this caught my eye. We got the Gold Dot short barrel here for 45 ACP. Still 230 grain though, so it's still a big old heavy peel, just short barrel, you know, formulated as far as the powder and all, or we're going to see anyway, because I'm going to make a comparison. Very nice Gold Dot projectile there, nickel plated case. I didn't realize it though, but I don't have any standard 230 grain Gold Dot that's not labeled short barrel, so I got to pick up some of that, but that'll be an interesting test for sure. And in this next order, I can't remember if I got this from Target Sports or Outdoor Unlimited, but it's going to give away something else that I've got coming soon. We got some Cellier and below first. We got 9mm Makarov here, or 9 by 18. If y'all not familiar with 9mm Makarov, it's basically the middle child of the 9mm world. It's right there in between 380 and 9 by 19. So I got a box of this, just some good old FMJ. And I know y'all saying, well, I ain't seen nothing you got in 9mm Makarov. You ain't seen it yet, but just hold your horses. So got one box of that. And then I got 5 boxes of Critical Defense. Same thing, 9mm Makarov, 95 grain. I don't even think I said this is the same, I believe. Yeah, 95 grain. So 95 grain critical defense 9mm Makarov. Y'all know there's not a whole lot of choices as far as, you know, name brand, real known defensive stuff for 9mm Makarov. There are a few other options that I may end up getting, but you can see there the little guy 9mm. So this should be some very interesting testing, and I'm really looking forward to y'all checking out what I've got in 9mm Makarov. So now let's move on to the couple of things I did get locally. First off, at my local shop, this was just a old random box of some trade-in or something like that they got up there. Some old Corbon, old production Corbon. It's actually 357 SIG here, 125 grain JHP. You can see the original tag on it. It ain't that no more. 1425 velocity there. So I had to pick this up. I mean, I got it from them pretty cheap, next to nothing. So pretty interesting. This ought to be a good, interesting test to see what kind of velocity we got, if it does meet those box velocities from back in the day. And then the other stuff I got from them, and most of what I got from the local pawn shop, is another giveaway to something I got coming here soon. We got a couple of boxes first here of Red Army Standard 7.62x54R, just some good old 148 grain steel case, so nothing fancy at all. I got a couple of boxes of this here, and then they did actually have some good 54R here too. PPU, well, it's about probably as good as you can get. Got the PPU rifle line here, 7.62x54R, 150 grain soft point boat tail. This is the same kind of thing I tested in X39, and it did really well. So as you can see, there's soft point. Now this is brass case, as you can see, so definitely not as cheap as the Red Army Standard, but hopefully this will be a little bit better performer anyway. And then the last batch of stuff came from my local pawn shop. First couple things is along the same lines here, 7.62x54R. First we got the Wolf, again 148 grain. They calling this the bimetal FMJ, as you'll see here. So a little bit fancier steel case, bimetal they call it. You can see they're pretty unique looking. So they had a few boxes of this, all they had. So I got this stuff. I got a super smoking deal on this stuff, as I always do from the local pawn shop. And then the next thing I got from them, they just happened to have right at perfect timing when I was looking to pick some of this stuff up, more 7.62x54R, but this is the 180 grain, the heavy ball yellow tip stuff. So again, just happened to have this in there. I had to look up to even see what this stuff was, but it's 180 grain heavy ball. As you can see there, it comes in a little package. This one was already open, little twine on it there, and then there you can see you got the yellow color tip on it, signifying that it's heavy ball. This is brass case, but I believe this is Bulgarian is where this stuff comes from. And then the last thing I got from them in there, mainly just because of the box, just, you all know how I am about unusual, weird boxes, stuff you can't get no more. And as you can see, this is one of those things, some 308 Winchester China Sports branded Norinco, just some regular old steel case, 147 grain FMJ. So again, nothing special to it. I like the box more than I do the ammo. They've got several more boxes of this stuff in there, but I'll probably just stay with this one. I might get another couple of them while I'm in there, but just something unusual for the box. And that's gonna wrap it up for this one, y'all. So quite a nice variety of stuff in the last couple weeks that I picked up. Huge thanks again for those of y'all who sent me stuff to test. All of the stuff that I got sent is gonna make for some really interesting testing. But let me know down in the comments what y'all looking forward to seeing tested, what kind of pickups you might have made in y'all's area. Again, reach down and click all of those buttons. All of that stuff really does help, so I appreciate that big time. Hit up those affiliate links while you're down there. If you're doing some shopping, anything you buy after going through those links, I get a kickback from them towards the channel, so I thank y'all for that. Again, a big thanks to all my Range Gang members and every single one of y'all for supporting the channel. Some really good testing coming up, so be on the lookout for that. And in the meantime, stay safe, stay prepared, and I'll see you soon.